How to get salvation. How to get salvation. Today's topic is salvation. Janak asked Ashtavakra, "O Lord, how does salvation happen? How does salvation happen? And how can one get in non-attachment? And how does one can get in divinity?" Ashtavakra said, God is known by the wisdom and knowledge which liberates you from all kind of bondage. Which liberates you all kind of bondage. Religious people who talks about liberation are not look liberated, are not looked liberated. All are bounded, so all are bounded to something or other. You attain everything, but if you have not attained freedom, you have attained nothing. Salvation has unique magic. It simply means a freedom which has no barrier. Get rid of desires. You must get rid of desires and renounce enjoyment. Ashtavakra said, if you want liberation, get rid of passions as like poison and inherit forgiveness, satisfaction, innocence, kindness, and truth as like nectar. The meaning of poison is someone consumes, he dies. We are dying again and again, consuming passions, ego, anger, hatredness, jealousy. Amrit means nectar, which gives you life and immortality. The anger is poison. The forgiveness is bliss. Cruelty is poison. Kindness is nectar. Satisfaction is nectar. The worm of dissatisfaction goes on eating everything. Worm of dissatisfaction goes on eating everything. It goes on spreading poison in the heart like cancer. Satisfaction means required nothing. Satisfaction means required nothing. Whatever is with me is enough. That is nectar. Nectar means after consuming one gets Amrit Tattva. This nectar is not some sweet liquid filled in some vessel. This nectar is not some sweet liquid filled in some vessel which drinking after you will get Amrit Tattva or you will never die. Actually, after drinking the nectar of wisdom or spirituality, knowledge, actually after drinking the nectar of spiritual knowledge, you will never die. That nectar is spiritual knowledge, after consuming which no one dies. He therefore Ashtavakra says, Hey Janak, if you are interested in salvation, get rid of passions, as like poison, and inherit forgiveness, satisfaction, kindness, and truth, as like nectar. Here Janaki ji raising a question, Hey Prabhu, you are saying about renouncing the passions and every enjoyments. But all Rishi, Muni, Maharshi are going on enjoying all. They are not renouncing. How can you say to renounce all these? Ashtavakra says, you are right. Enjoyments are not being renounced. Enjoyments are not being renounced. No temptation in enjoyment. No temptation in enjoyment is renouncement. It is being said by intellectuals. It should not be in worry for not getting something. It must not pull you to get something which you don't have. You must not be seen lean and thin for getting something which you do not possess. You must not be seen lean and thin for getting something which you do not possess. For getting all that you must not speak a lie. It is all renouncement. Heart must not be worried to get anything. Heart must not be worried to get anything. It is real renouncement. Krishna, Lord Krishna says, enlightened person always in salvation. Enlightened person always in salvation. When someone is completely free from all desires of the mind and is satisfied within by the joy of Supreme Being, he is called a enlightened person. O Arjuna, a person whose mind is unperturbed by sorrow who does not crave pleasure, and who is completely free from attachment, free fear and anger, is called an enlightened sage or steady intellectual. The mind and the the mind and intellectuality of a person become steady, who is not attached to anything. One who is neither elated by getting desired results, nor perturbed by undesired results. When one can completely withdraw the senses from the sense objects, as a tortoise withdraw its limb into the shell for protection from calamity, then the intellectuality of such person is considered steady. Contented person always in salvation. Contented person always is salvation. We are never self-satisfied. We are always dissatisfied with ourselves. Our whole life depends on dissatisfaction. If someone leaves us alone, we do not feel good because we have to live alone. We don't like to be alone. We require someone to give us company. We require someone else to give us company. We feel good with others. Who is not happy with himself, how can he will make happy to others? Who is not eligible to give happiness to himself, how can he be eligible to give happiness to others? How can he be eligible to give happiness to others? We are not self-satisfied. 1 minute loneliness becomes heavy to us. We get bored with ourselves. We never bore with others. We see TV, we read newspapers, we go to see pictures or to a friend or somewhere. Man does not want to live with himself. It looks very difficult to live with himself. Lord Krishna gives first indication, contented, contented. Whatever Arjun has asked, Lord Krishna reply is very deep and balanced, contented. Until and unless we feel we can get pleasure somewhere else, until and unless we feel we can get pleasure somewhere else means we are not satisfied with ourselves. It is crystal clear. Our attention is always running to others. Our attention is always running to others. There is no happening in others. As soon as it will be clear, there is no happiness in others. As soon as it will be clear, heart will stay and enjoy within. Lord Krishna says, sage of settled wisdom, enlightened person. Lord Krishna said, when one is completely free from all desires of the mind and is satisfied within by the joy of Supreme Being, he is called an enlightened person. He is called an enlightened person. When a man puts away all his desires, he is called stable in intelligence. When a man puts away all his desires, he is called stable in intelligence. He whose mind is untroubled in pain and pleasure, he whose passions and fears has disappeared, is called a sage of settled intelligence. It is self-mastery, where conquest of desire and passion is insisted on. He who is without affection, who does not rejoice under good or bad, his intelligence is firmly settled. Flowers bloom or fade. There is no need to praise or condemn. We must accept whatever comes without excitement and pain. We must accept whatever comes without excitement and pain. Lord Krishna said, Arjuna, when one thoroughly renounces all desires and is satisfied within his soul, he is called a sage of settled wisdom. He is called a sage of settled wisdom. A person whose mind is unperturbed by sorrow, who does not crave pleasure, and who is completely free from attachment, fear, and anger, is called an enlightened sage of steady intellectuality. This kind of sage, whose mind remains unperturbed amid sorrows, whose thirst for pleasure has altogether disappeared, and who is free from passions, fear, and anger, is called a stable wisdom. The mind and intellectual The mind and intellect of a person become steady, who is not attached to anything. One who is neither one who is neither elated by getting desired results nor perturbed by undesired results. Who desires happiness will definitely be sad. Who desires happiness will definitely be sad. Because when we will not get desired happiness, automatically we will be sad. Where there is a pleasure, there is a pain. No one, no one desires pain. Pain always comes after pleasure. It is only way to come for him. Pain and grief come behind the pleasure and happiness. Pain and grief come behind the pleasure and happiness. These are not two. Pain and pleasure are the two faces of the same coin. Pain and pleasure are the two faces of the same coin. Therefore, Lord Krishna says, who is natural in happiness and unhappiness, and who has no desires for happiness, and who has no anger and fear within. Krishna is not saying to leave the anger and fear. He is saying who do not have anger and fear within. He is stable in his wisdom. There is need to understand the differences. There is need to understand the differences. Person who has no anger, fear within, and to leave the anger and fear. Don't understand by this that you can stop anger and fear by suppression. Don't understand by this that you can stop anger and fear by suppression. It is not so easy. In place of trying to restrain anger, you try to raise it high. You try to instigate it high. And look at him. When someone abuses you, you see within how anger is arising within. When someone abuses you, you should thank him. You should say, it is very kind of you that you have given me chance to check my anger. That you have given me chance to check my anger. How it is arising. Such person is stable in his wisdom. Lord Krishna says, when one can completely withdraw the senses from the sense objects, as a tortoise withdraws its limbs into the shell for protection from calamity, then the intellect of such a person is considered steady. Then the intellect of such a person is considered steady. To understand the Lord Krishna, it is necessary to understand the difference in suppression of senses and to be free from senses. Control the senses and live unattached. Control the senses and live unattached. Controlling the senses means living unattached with the senses. Otherwise, man will start to ruin his eyes and ears and cut his tongue. You may think it cannot happen, but you are wrong. People had been there in this world who had fast burning iron rods into their eyes. Obstinate and stubborn saints had cut their penis. Shrinking the senses does not mean to ruin them or shutter the ears and eyes or to cut the tongue or penis. If you think no one does so, then you are wrong. People had done this in the past. Such saints happen to be in this world that had ruined their eyes and cut their penis. Lord Krishna says, one who is not happy in happiness and not painful in pain, one who is not looking for happiness and pleasure, he will not be painful in pain and happy in happiness. One who desires happiness will be in pain. One who desires happiness, he will be in pain. Where there is desire to get something, there will be pain. Where there is desire to get something, there will be pain. See two lines of a poet who has expressed this in his own way. देखा है हर चाह बनी, देखा है हर चाह बनी, आखिर में दुख का कारण। देखा है हर चाह बनी, आखिर में दुख का कारण। फिर भी चाहे मोक्ष अधर, चाहना आखिर ना छोड़ा। चाह गई चिंता गई मनवा बेपरवाह, जिसको कछु न चाहिए वो ही शहंशाह। If you don't desire happiness, pain will finish automatically. No one desires pain. Pain just comes. All desires happiness. Pain has only way to come from behind. Pleasure and happiness. He has no other way to come. He always enters from the back door. Further he says, who does not possess fear and anger within? Krishna is not saying to leave the anger and fear. He is saying who does not have. He is settled and awakened one. He is settled and awakened one. Krishna says subjects and enjoyments you can leave, but attachments will not leave you. But attachments will not leave you. Enlightened person leaves attachments along with subjects and enjoyments. Person who is not enjoying the subjects, person who is not enjoying the subjects and its enjoyment, subjects may go away. Attachment remains, and these attachments never leave him. And these attachments never leave him. Thank you.